And we think that this is a classic example of how to solve the problem of youth unemployment in Nigeria.
You have just mentioned now that over 2,000 youths have been empowered. Well, these are the direct people that benefited directly from the Delta State Government Job Creation Empowerment Program. Do we have expectation for many more youths to come into this program?
Thank you very much. His Excellency, the Governor of Delta State, has assured the people of Delta that this program is an ongoing program. It's a program that will continue into the future. That is why he established, on assumption of office, the office of the Chief Job Creation Officer. So this program has run 2 program cycles. We have had 2 program cycles, and the 3rd program cycle is about to start. And it's a continuing program that is ongoing. This is the commitment and the vision of His Excellency, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, the Governor of Delta State.
Thank you very much, Professor Egu. Now behind me, we'll see that there are different stands here where different products are being exhibited. They are expecting that people will come in and patronize them because they have a lot of success stories. From what Dr. Ebo has told us now, over 2,000 people have been empowered and many more are still on the way. Joining us again to discuss this further is the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Mr. Charles Ehiedu Aniago. You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much for having us, sir.
And that is why we are here.
How sustainable is this gesture by the Delta State government to make sure that it curbs unemployment in Delta State?
Well, thank you very much. In terms of sustainability, a lot of things have been put in place to institutionalize this process. But before that, it's important for me to let you know the philosophy behind it. It became necessary for the governor to create employment that is sustainable for the youth of Delta, without doing the usual thing where the state government will just say they have created employment, you throw the civil service of the state open, and you begin to engage a number of persons when there is no vacancy that exists in the service. That is usually the trend in a number of states. But Governor Kowa believes that if you do that, you are not even empowering those individuals, let alone creating wealth for the state, because they are not going to be productive because there's nothing for them to produce. And what he did when he came in is to ensure that the youth are engaged through this process, whereby at the end of the day, they are empowered through the starter packs, supervised by the Office of the Chief Job Creation Officer. And at the end of the day, they are able to also have their own enterprise. And through that enterprise, a number of these youths have been able to also engage and employ a number of other Deltans. You begin to see the multiplier effect of this process. Now, in terms of the question you asked, which have to do with the sustainability, we've also been able to revamp our technical institutions, technical colleges, with a view to providing that vehicle through which individuals continue to acquire one knowledge or the other in terms of technical expertise. We have also been able to establish a particular office headed by the supervised by the microcredit office, where you also have a number of persons having to learn one trade or the other, just as they are also able to provide them a soft loan with which they can expand for those who have a very, very reasonable proposals that is assessed by the Office of the Job Creation Officer in collaboration with the Office of the Microcredit Agency. All these are put in place. But beyond that, there is also effort to have it through the legislature, so that beyond the Okowa administration, we are able to have an empowerment scheme that lasts beyond this particular administration. So much is being done, and I can see that you are seeing what is happening here.
Yes, over 2,000 youths, like you have said, have been empowered. And from what we see here, I don't think we have up to 2,000 people. What happened to the others? And then those 2,000 are the direct jobs. Do we have estimates of indirect jobs that this could offer?
You cannot even directly at the moment put a figure to the estimate, but I can assure you that that estimate of the indirect job is far more than the direct jobs. Much more than 10,000 persons, because, for instance, there's a lady called Oma Cynthia that is into decoration, cake making, and then, of course, confectionaries. She has been able to train more than 18 persons, just one person. And there are other persons who have also been able to employ not less than 6 other persons. Now, in terms of the number you have here, of course, you know the issue of probability sample. We believe that we just want to give you this for you to just have a sample of what we are doing across the state, because we will not have the capacity and the strength to showcase over 2,340 something persons at the same time in this arena. When you see those who are into maybe bead making, block making, those who are into fisheries, those who are into poultry, we couldn't have been able to gather all of them in this particular arena. But the good thing is that a number of them have also come to rejoice with those who are fortunate to make it to this particular business fair and then product exhibition by Entrpreneurs and Entrpreneurs. So what you are seeing here is just less than 10% of those persons that have been empowered. But we want to use this to showcase to the world that something new is happening in Delta. And at the same time, let them also have the opportunity of also meeting certain other business persons so that they begin to have contact beyond their immediate environment. And for them to know that their business is not local. For them to also have a global view of what business is all about. And at the end of the day, they become entrepreneurs that will be able to drive the economy of the state and to a large extent also assist us in growing the GDP of our state beyond the issue of the civil service.
Talk about the starter packs, because we are aware that some of them were given starter packs even after their training. Some of them after 3 months training, 6 months training. And we know that all of these things were achieved during the time the country had gone into recession. So talk to us at the mouthpiece of the state governor. How were you able, to go through this period of recession and then getting the resources which we use to establish them, which we call the starter pack?
Well, thank you very much. Good enough. The Commissioner for Economic Planning is very, very close nearby. He'll be able to tell you what they did in terms of raising the funds. Not as if I don't know, but he has a better knowledge of it because he is at the head of the supervision of the Office of the Chief Job Creation Officer. But from my own perspective and what we have done, having also associated very, very closely with my boss, the governor made this particular venture a priority of his 5-point agenda, which is to create prosperity for all Deltans. Individuals thought that when he said prosperity for all Deltans, that he's going to bring money and begin to give it out to people. He said no. What we needed to do is to empower these individuals who will in turn empower a number of other Deltans. And having identified that priority and having made it a point to use to reach out to Deltans, the governor decided to begin to now save funds with a view to reaching out to people. So the Commissioner for Economic Planning will tell you how much we have been able to do in terms of saving, in terms of the amount of money that was deployed to making this a reality.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles Ehedu. We have just spoken to the Chief Press Secretary of the State Governor, Mr. Charles Ehedu. He has taken us through how the state government came with these success stories. Over 2,000 youths trained and given starter packs to start up their own businesses, their own enterprises. And there is estimates that a lot of indirect jobs will also be created from these ones that have benefited from the Job Creation Office of the Delta State Government. We are going to be bringing you much more updates as the events unfold. Vivian Oramadike, Channels Television from Senegal.
They will definitely go home with so many wonderful stories to tell, especially as it concerns the job creation scheme of His Excellency the Governor. I see quite, from my vantage position here, quite a lot of exhibitors, I'm sure from different vocations, from fashion and design, to upholstery and what have you. Yes, of course, we also have some different groups that are also here. A lot of groups that are here, quite a number of them, to be part of what is happening here at the Cenotaph. It's quite huge. It is very, very commendable, and we appreciate all those who are putting efforts to make sure that this day actually comes into play. As soon as His Excellency the Governor steps in here, of course, we're going to start the business of the day. The major highlights of this event will be by the time we take an overview of the products exhibition and business fair by the Chief Job Creation Officer. And of course, we're told that we're going to see a documentary on the journey so far. And of course, there's going to be an inspection of the various stands, quite a number of them, different vocations. They are here, those who have benefited from the job creation scheme of His Excellency the Governor, those who have been trained, and they're now employers of labor themselves.